Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and happy Repeal Day. In 1933, on December 5th, Prohibition ended. Yay on that. So celebrate, get a pour, and enjoy the day. So what we're going to do today is go over my November Whiskey Cigar Club that I did on last Sunday. I kind of did an episode like this last month for 2 Whiskey Cigar Clubs. We only did 1 in November. That's just how the voting worked out. And so we'll go over quickly the 12 bottles in order that we drank with my score, the group score, and my notes. So let's get into the first lineup. All right, so this is the first lineup, and the haul video did very well, which I did tease it for a little bit, and I dropped it at 2 o'clock in the morning. And this episode is also gonna be a late drop at some point tonight. I dropped all videos this week late, and they've all been doing pretty well. So we'll see how this one does, because this one I could compare it to last month's video and kind of see. Anyways, that's more for me. Just, I like to be transparent. We started off in the blind. Again, we do 3 sets of 4 blind for everyone else. I know what people are drinking. I usually forget half the time when I'm drinking, but the first pour was the Michter's 10-year rye. This is this year's. This is 25C, and I scored this a 3.5. The group scored a 3.44, so pretty close. I got cherry, rye, green Jolly Rancher, strawberry chapstick on the nose, rye spice, strawberry Laffy Taffy, red fruit spice on the palate, rye spice, sweet, and short on the finish. So overall, pretty good. And you'll notice that there's a good amount of ryes in this lineup, and that's because I'm trying to figure out the best ryes of the year. This is supposed to be up there. It's like a tender every year, so we'll see. A bottle that I reviewed on the channel already, the Midwinter Night Dram Act 13, Scene 11. Oh, excuse me, Scene 10. Thought it was 11, but I scored a 3.25. The group scored a 3.58, so they liked it a little bit better than I did. Toasty rye toffee coffee biscuit on the nose, toffee burnt caramel dark fruit on the palate, green apple rye nice rye note on the finish. The group did enjoy this one better than this one, back to back. One that I did not enjoy too much. Sorry, I just had to stop and score all these, meaning ranking. So the Michters ended up coming in 9th place overall, and the Midwinter's Dram came in 6th place. Okay, so we'll go into the last place bottle, and this is the bottle that I won. I should be, showing you, but this is definitely a different bottle that I'm sure a lot of people have not a lot of familiarity with. Wow, cannot talk. I scored this a 2.5. Butterscotch, vanilla, cookie, baking spices on the palate, funky, woody, toasty. On the finish, funky dark fruits. And the group scored a 2.99, and again, that came in last place overall. Let me know if you guys love Glen Creek. I feel like it's a mixed bag on Glen Creek. Some people love it, and some people not a big fan. Okay, so then we go to the 4th bottle of the lineup. I scored a 2.75. The group scored a 3.38, which is significantly higher. It still came in 10th place. Everyone scores everything 1 through 5, but some people score higher on average, and that's why maybe the scores are a little higher, but it's still ranked pretty low. And so this is a short barrel rye whiskey finished in Cabernet casks, and I was pretty excited to get into this one, and not the biggest fan. So I got dark fruit, funky, cherry, red fruit on the nose, red fruit strawberry ice cream on the palate. Finish, I wrote soapy. I even circled it. I don't know why, but soapy red fruit. And I'm sure the soapy note is why I brought it down, because strawberry ice cream, that's a pretty good note. So let's get into the next lineup. All right, so this is the second lineup, and we start off with the Michter's Barrel Proof Rye, and this is a 25B. So I'll let you guys see that. And I scored that a 3.5, and the group scored a 3.51. So basically the same exact. And that came in 7th place overall. Sweet red fruit, vanilla biscuit, rye on the nose. Sweet red fruit, rye spices, vanilla on the palate. Smoky and peanut butter on the finish. All right, so then we go into Circle City, and this is an SLB pick. And this one actually did really well. I scored a 3.2, but the group actually scored a 3.69, came in 5th place overall. Crafty, toasty, grassy, not the best notes, just going off of those notes. On the palate, spice, oak, vanilla, strawberry, dark fruit. Finish, green apple, oak, sweet. So pretty good. Then we get to the Jimmy Red SLB pick, and this one was not I was not the biggest fan of, which is kind of disappointing. I got Kolk. That's right, Kolk. Everyone laughed when I said that at Whisky Cigar Club. Strawberry chapstick, crafty. On the palate, all rose crafty. On the finish, crafty spice. I scored a 2.5. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. The group scored a 3.18, and it came in 11th place, so second to last. Okay, now we have the Angel's Envy Cask Strength 2025 Bourbon, and I scored this a 3.5, and the group scored a 3.89, so pretty higher than what I scored it. It came in third place overall, and I reviewed it the other day in a video. This day I got toasty, peanut butter, red fruit on the palate, strawberry, vanilla, sweet spice, bubblegum, and on the finish, oak, vanilla, red fruit. So pretty good. So let's get into the third lineup. All right, so then we get into the third lineup, and we start off with the Russell's Reserve 13 Batch 6, which is this year's version. And I already reviewed it on the channel. I scored a 4. The group scored a 4.19. Came in second place overall. Peanut butter, oak, vanilla, peanut on the nose. Peanut, red fruit, oak, vanilla on the palate. Cinnamon, oak, red fruit on the finish. Really, really good. Ever really enjoyed this one. Then we go to the Woodford Reserve Rye, which, gotta ask you guys out there. To me, Woodford Reserve has to be in discussion for most disappointing, worst, whatever word you want to say, distillery of 2025. And I was really hoping that the rye was going to be really good and kind of like, you know, at least it had something this year. You let me know in the comments what your most disappointing distillery of 2025 was, because I need something to compare to Woodford. So this one didn't do too bad. I scored a 3. The group scored a 3.51, and it came in 7th place overall, which is not a cheap bottle. So for the notes, because I haven't reviewed this on the channel yet: vanilla cookies, rye, herbal, banana on the palate, herbal, crafty, banana, spice, and on the finish, crafty, funky. That was a fresh crack. It is something I do want to review against some other ryes on the channel. Hopefully I get that in before the end of the year. Now, a really good rye, and Smoke Eye Hill, man, they put out some good stuff. So this is the Smoke Eye Hill rye, barrel proof, 5-year-old, and I scored a 3.5. The group scored a 3.71. It came in 4th place overall, so it's pretty good ranking for it, especially for the price. I think it's like half the price of the Woodford Reserve, or significantly cheaper anyways. Dark fruit, herbal, rye, sweet. On the palate, rye, wood spice, sweet spice. Oh, 2 different spices. Finish, vanilla, red fruit, and sweet. Just a much more enjoyable sip than the Woodford Reserve. So then we have the George T Stagg Hazmat, this year's version. You know, I did a review of this last week. I scored a 4.25, and the group scored a 4.25. That rarely ever happens, and the math works out perfectly like that. Because some people put crazy numbers on here, making me do all kinds of calculations. Oak, vanilla, red fruit on the nose. Oak, vanilla, red fruit, purple Jolly Rancher on the palate. Vanilla, oak, red fruit on the finish. Really great bottle. Definitely in contention for Bourbon of the Year. It's definitely going to be in the tournament, just like the Russell's 13 out of these that I can think off the top of my head. All right, so that's the lineup. I'm sure this video is going to be quick because it's only 15 minutes. I edited out like half the stuff anyway. So tell me if you like this format of me kind of just going over quickly over the whiskey that we do in the Whisky Cigar Club. I would go over the cigars I had, but the 2 cigars I smoked were like private labels that a new coworker gave me to try them because she knows a roller in the DR. So I don't think that would be beneficial because I don't even know much information about it, nor the price. I asked her how much these cigars were. She still hasn't told me, so I don't know. On the cigar topic, I went on a podcast last night called Ash Chat Podcast, and it's like on all the podcast things. They have a YouTube channel where they upload, which is kind of how I do it. I don't listen to podcasts, but if you have YouTube, I'll watch YouTube. Now it's audio. They do have a couple of videos. Anyways, I went on that podcast last night. It was a great time. I did record the whole thing. I don't know how the audio is going to be. I still haven't checked it because I basically just put the mics on the table, and it was in a cigar lounge, so there was a lot of noise. And, you know, I couldn't even hear the noises because, you know, we have the headphones and stuff. As soon as they put out the podcast, I'll be sure to let you guys know about it. It was a really good time. You know, they basically asked me a lot of questions. So if you want to hear a little bit about like my backstory or something, I don't know, they asked different questions, I'll definitely let you guys know. So anyways, hope you guys enjoy your repeal day. Don't do nothing stupid. And if you do, don't get caught. Bye.